What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we're jumping in with a breakdown of new weapons coming in Edge of Fate. There have been a couple of videos like this already, but in this one I want to go into more detail, rounding up pretty much all of the weapons we've actually seen so far, as well as new exotics, one which appears to be completely secret at the moment, or nearly, so we have a potentially leaked exotic right there. We'll also go into new archetypes and perks with gameplay of a bunch of weapons. And given that Bungie want us to replace most of our existing weapons with these ones eventually, I figured a more in-depth look at new perks, archetypes, mods, origin traits, and all of the juicy stuff that weapons can do in Edge of Fate would be somewhat interesting. So let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. Big shout out to everyone who's covered Edge of Fate so far, as we will be reviewing some of those materials as well. Now though, let's get into it. A quick mention initially, but Karu shared here, shiny weapons moving forward will actually come with animated icons, which is pretty cool. Plus of course, as we've seen, there are bonuses on the artifact that reward us with bonus weapon damage when we're using new gear, so that's going to make all of the things that we pick up in Edge of Fate even more potent than what we have right now in the game. I've discussed my thoughts on the seasonal refreshes, some of these bonuses, and potential issues with that stuff. I know it's a big conversation in the community, so share your thoughts down below. In the last couple of days though, there's been some conversation about a potentially leaked exotic right here. This was shown in some footage actually posted by a sound and music designer who's worked on a bunch of things at Bungie. The gameplay itself is Onslaught, but it appears to be in the Edge of Fate build for the game, because the weapon they're using, which we actually don't know a ton of details about, but it was also displayed in a clip that Bungie shared for Armsweek, so that verifies it as a new build of the game. Can't tell you any more about that legendary weapon, but looking at the heavy weapon icon, there's a bit of debate in the community at the moment, but this is a unique icon. Typically we only see those on exotic weapons for a heavy strand weapon, so could be a rocket launcher, heavy trace rifle, machine gun, or fuel rod cannon. All we really have is speculation, but certainly something new, and a good chance that it's going to be coming at some point in Year of Prophecy. Otherwise, we've seen the Graviton Spike Hand Cannon, where we can swap between fast-firing arc or slow-firing stasis, and final blows and precision hits overcharge the opposite mode to enable additional effects. Plus, when it's overcharged, each mode expends a portion of that charge for additional effects, such as calling down lightning strikes on arc mode, or stasis mode creating explosions and stasis crystals. That will actually be an exotic mission weapon with catalysts, so we know it'll be able to get rapid hit, subsistence, transcendent zen, and temporal alignment, where overcharging both of the modes on the weapon grants a period of increased damage. Otherwise, we've seen the third iteration Scout Rifle, which has Triplanar Mass Driver, which fires a spread of void energy projectiles. Aiming down sights will narrow the spread, plus aiming down sights for a short period without firing will condense the spread into a single projectile, and defeating a marked target with the weapon will grant invisibility and true sight. That is believed to be a Season Pass exotic. Otherwise, we will get access to the new Land Beyond catalyst, and while the weapon is at high stacks of the Master, new rounds are continually loaded into the magazine, and the benefits from Bullseye Bolster will last longer. Then we get onto the Kepler weapon set. Firstly, there's a pulse rifle here with strand damage called Last Thursday, which is an adaptive frame. There's a bit of gameplay you can see in the background on it. Plus there's an origin trait for this weapon, and presumably the rest of the Kepler weapons, that allows it to fire a tracking round, which is pretty cool. Other Kepler weapons include Principle, which is a void shotgun, and this will be able to get new perks such as proximity power, and when targets are nearby, final blows grant an improved amount of bonus melee stat. So obviously that pairs into the new stat system for armor. There's also a new hand cannon, which is called Agape. I'm not sure how you say that, but it's a heavy burst solar hand cannon. And as we can see in the gameplay here, it comes with a perk called Burning Ambition, and dealing sustained damage more quickly will scorch the target, plus dealing damage to a scorched target will inflict more scorch. Other Kepler weapons though include Giver's Blessing, and we've seen gameplay of this in the shooting range and a couple of other places. It has perks such as Impromptu Ammunition, and final blows increase ammo meter progress from all sources for a slightly increased duration. On top of that, there's Transcendent Moment, and final blows will grant bonus stats based on the weapon's damage alignment. Light elements grant stability and handling, and dark elements grant range and aim assist, and while Transcendent, the weapon gets both bonuses. So that's an interesting one. There'll also be the Sublimation High Impact Frame Scout Rifle with arc damage from the Kepler set, and the machine gun, which is called Ulterior Observation, an aggressive frame stasis machine gun with Built to Blast, a new trait where we gain aim assist, stability and flinch resistance when we have Woven Mail, Frost Armor, or Avoid Overshield. So that's the bulk of the Kepler weapons set, although there is also the rocket-assisted frame pulse rifle. There's one here called Mint Retrograde, another strand weapon, but we can see it fires in bursts of 3, which is certainly pretty interesting, and it can get rocket-style bonuses such as beacon rounds. Looks like potentially quite a strong primary weapon there. There's also a bunch of weapons that appear to be linked to Armsweek, so these are essentially what will be the featured weapons for that event, which will be run by Ada 1. And there's the Fenutria Ferra, a solar spread shot hand cannon. Now these fire a short-range spread of pellets, much like a shotgun, so they can get bonuses like Barrel Constrictor and 1-2 Punch, which is certainly different. All of these Armsweek weapons appear to have a similar style or theme as well. There is the Returned Memory, a rocket-assisted frame solar sidearm, so it'll be the second solar rocket sidearm we've had. Again, it can get things like impromptu ammunition and Burning Ambition, which applies Scorch. But another weapon in this set is the Ribbon Tail, which is a strand adaptive frame trace rifle. I do quite like the visuals on these, and here's the Transcendent Moment perk once again. Plus it can get a new bonus called Binary Orbit, where elemental final blows opposite this weapon increase damage for an improved duration, and Darkness final blows boost arc, solar, and void weapons, while light final blows boost stasis, strand, and kinetic weapons. Another weapon from this set is the Mercury A, a high-impact longbow. An interesting archetype given that it has more impact, it also fires slower. Not really sure how appealing these will end up being, but we can also see the Vanguard Determination origin trait here, and after using your class ability, final blows with the weapon grant you bonus damage resistance. On top of that, there's another weapon, a sword, which seems to fit into this set, although for the moment that's all we really know about it. Now, a bunch of other weapons from different playlists. We're going to see the return of Not Forgotten, essentially, although it's called Solemn Remembrance, an alternate version of the original weapon, and of course these come in a precision frame. Other weapons linked to PvP though include the Trials weapons, where we have the Aureus Neutralizer, that's another spread shot hand cannon, this time with kinetic damage. Plus we'll see the Auric Disabler, which is a strand precision frame auto rifle. And we see the new Trials origin trait here, fleet-footed, and dealing damage grants you an extended window of increased movement speed and airborne effectiveness, plus landing a final blow increases these effects. Bungie will also reprise the Forgiveness sidearm. These reprisals will now have a revision number to remind us how many times we've had them back in the game. Of course, this is a heavy burst arc sidearm. We'll see the return of Ayesha's Embrace as well, the Void Rapid Fire Frame Scout Rifle, and all of the perk pools on these obviously have been updated. Then there'll be the return of the Unwavering Duty, a solar adaptive frame machine gun. That will be able to get the Burning Ambition perk as well, which should be pretty interesting. And then these weapons that have the kind of teal green and white color combination appear to actually be linked to the Solo Ops playlist, as far as we know. There's what appears to be an auto rifle called the Ahab Char, and then others from the set, including the Shoreline Dissident, a rapid fire frame Void Sniper, and these will come with the Bray Legacy origin trait, where dealing damage with the weapon generates a small amount of ability energy for the one closest to full charge. There'll also be the Faustus Decline, which is a stasis lightweight frame sidearm. Another world weapon by the looks of it here is the Quad Nihilus 2, an adaptive frame strand SMG. We can see that we'll be able to get Binary Orbit. Then there's a grenade launcher here in the micro missile frame archetype. This will be an arc weapon, and looking at some new perks. Firstly, there's the Problem Solver origin trait, where dealing sustained damage to champion, mini-boss, or boss combatants exhausts them, and grants the weapon handling and reload speed for a longer duration. Plus there's another new perk that we spot on this one, Blast Distributor, and dealing splash damage grants an improved bonus to the grenade stat. Looking at the Aurora Dawn here, which is a wave sword frame with stasis damage, it's going to get some new perks such as proximity power, and when targets are nearby, final blows grant an improved amount of bonus melee stat. And another new perk is Sharp Harvest, and landing 3 light attack hits within an improved short time will grant special ammo. Of course, these are enhanced traits. Our final few mentions though include the Lionfish 4FR, which is a rapid fire frame stasis SMG, the Boomslang 4FR, linear fusion rifle, an adaptive burst arc, and Stars in Shadow, which is going to be returning as well. And that of course is a high impact frame solar pulse rifle. So those are all of the weapons that we currently know about coming in Edge of Fate. Obviously there's the intrigue around that mystery exotic weapon, the strange auto rifle that's being held in the shooting range, then of course the new archetypes and bonuses. So let us know which ones stand out to you and whether you think these weapons might be exciting enough to pull you away from your existing stuff, which of course is going to happen in numerous ways based on the design in Edge of Fate. So let us know what you think. There are a few there that I think look pretty cool. If you've enjoyed this roundup though, a rating below really does help us on the channel. Once again, get subscribed if you do want to keep up to date with more Edge of Fate news. Otherwise though, I appreciate you tuning in as always, and I hope you guys have an awesome day.